Good morning, everybody, and thanks for waking up with The Chase.
No way.
My God!
That's a 1 and 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Go to Dave's. I must ask you a question right now.
1 and 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Whoa.
Sit back, relax, and crack a cold one. The Chase is live. Woo! Happy Wednesday, my dudes. We're back for another episode of The Chase. Thanks for waking up with us. It's actually something I want to do.
Oh, boy.
What is it?
Too much.
You know, Tyler used this bad boy this morning. It's been a while since I used this. It's been a while since I could hold my head up high. All right, let's get into it. Man,
Nice job, Aaron Lewis.
Loud. Thank you. Thank you. It's hump day, ladies and gentlemen. We made it to another hump day. I'm really excited. Going on vacation tomorrow, so you may not see me on Friday, but we'll get to that at the end of the show. I'm alongside my co-host this morning, David Yarger. What's going on?
Not much. I enjoyed your little Aaron Lewis impersonation. That was nice.
Yeah, I've seen better. You know, I could have been better, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Elena is on hand with us as well. So good morning, Elena.
Oh, I'm here, and I'm
Good
ready
morning.
to go. Let's
That's it?
Yeah.
That's
I don't
literally
know.
all
You
you
guys
got?
always put me on the spot, expecting me to just have these one-liners that just make us go
Because
crazy.
the entire time before the red light went on, you do have one-liners.
I do. Okay, I'm just gonna start spitballing today. All right. If I
This is what I'm telling you.
All
This
right,
is what we
fine,
want
fine.
from you.
Okay.
Start
Honestly,
spitting.
See, do you hear how he talks to me? Everyone in the chat.
Oh.
Do you hear how I'm talked to?
Oh, man.
We were just
kidding.
having a great conversation.
No, we had a huge debate about Arby's this morning, and I'm a huge Arby's stan, so I'm glad to know everyone on the Chase is as well.
Yes.
What's the horseradish sauce? Horsey sauce?
Horsey sauce.
Horsey, yeah.
Delicious.
That's the only good thing about Arby's.
I love Arby's
Whoa,
sauce.
whoa.
All
All right,
we
that
already
easy.
We
Hold
agreed
on.
that we're getting that for lunch today.
Yes,
I'm ready to go into a food coma.
That's
They
what I'm
have
saying.
the meats.
This is not an ad.
Oh my god, wait, can I tell a quick story?
Oh, God.
No.
Okay, no, quick story. So when I was getting married to my wife. No,
My wife.
No, Stevens, get out of here.
My wife.
My wife.
When I was getting married to my wife, all right, one of her aunts that lives in outside of Gowanda, New York, which is
aunt.
is okay, aunt, Western New York. Sorry, apologize. She was talking to my brother-in-law that lives in Hawaii, and she was like, "Oh my God, you guys are visiting, and we're so great you're here. I have coupons to this place. You gotta go. You gotta go there. It's really good. They got really good meat there if you like meat." And he's like, "Yeah, what's this place?" Like he's all hyped up, like getting a good steak or something. He's like, "Yeah, they have all the meats. It's called Arby's." And we're like, "Oh my God."
Bro, I love the fact that he made it sound like it was some delicatessen delicacy. He's like, "Oh my God, you got to try
good.
this place."
That's how gassed up she was about Arby's.
Listen,
See-
I'm that gassed up about Arby's.
See, that's the thing.
I feel that way.
Everybody thinks there's tension between Elaine and I, but we're just shaking hands on our Arby love.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all it is.
We're joining forces. Don't worry.
It's two Homo sapiens that love Arby's.
Sapins.
Homeo Nick Sabins, did you say? Anyways, all right. Why don't you
Confirmed,
give
we're getting Arby's for lunch.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
All right.
Anyways,
Hey,
you know what time it is.
we got to focus up. Give me the quote of the day, please.
Let's get some focus. The first person you lead is you, John C. Maxwell.
Snap
That was a
laws.
quick one.
Beautiful. Quick, to the point. Love to see it. So before Tyler throws out his rotator cuff telling me to speed it up, here's what we got going for today's show. We'll have the new releases hitting shelves for this Wednesday. We'll also announce Monday's Topps Chrome baseball winners, so hang tight for that in a minute. And guess what? Kunal Chopra, friend of the show, first guest ever on The Chase, and his company, Beckett, acquired a pricing company. We'll have more on that. And Topps having a little issue with the Chrome baseball this year with the rookies, but We'll show you how they're amending that. Also, we'll recap the double dip Monday Night Football games that we saw a couple days ago here. And we'll talk to Jeremy Lee of Tag Grading and Sports Card Live. And he'll give you a glimpse of his current and upcoming roles in the hobby. And last but not least, we are giving away not a box rip today. We're switching it up a little bit. We're giving 5 spots away to a break of an unreleased Topps Chrome Black Star Wars that will happen this Friday, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, on our Twitch. But first things first, let's give away that Topps Chrome baseball that we ripped on Friday, including 2 rookie autos and a Vlad negative card. I picked out the winner today. We asked you guys who is going to be the AL MVP, and this is why I like this answer, and I picked it because guess what? Very controversial right now. Very controversial. It's usually between people are saying Judge or Ohtani. That's what we're hearing. T4 Con 4 Tour. That's right. The Twitch chatter is going with Ohtani. Thinks they have it thinks Ohtani has it in the bag. So there you go. See? So I like a little bit of controversy. So that's what we're doing. Topps Chrome Baseball going to you. Look for a whisper from DA Card World and make sure you send us your shipping information to thechase@dacardworld.com. But I think it is time to throw it over to David. I want to turn it over to you. What's going on?
Sorry, I'm wrapping my head around the whole MVP debate. All right, first things first, we got 2021-22 Panini Chronicles Basketball Hobby that comes out today. Here, you're going to find 2 autos per box, including the possibility of rookie autos. Additionally, with Hobby, look out for Gala, Limited, and Titanium cards. Also, be on the search for the red parallels, number 2/149. And, of course, as far as rookies, your big hits, you're going to want to look for Pistons point guard Cade Cunningham, Cavs Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green, Rookie of the Year Scotty Barnes, Josh Giddey, underrated guy, Jonathan Kuminga, Franz Wagner, and more. So check out Chronicles today.
Okay, also today, we have Panini Gold Standard Football Hobby, as well as First Off the Line. We'll have 5 autos or memorabilia per box, including 2 base or parallels per box. Each First Off the Line box is going to contain 1 Nouveau Richie patch autograph number to 79 and 1 base or rookie emerald parallel numbered to 11. You'll also get an opportunity to discover the newest rookies, including Kenny Pickett, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Malik Willis, Sam Howell, Drake London, Jamison Williams, and Dave Stevens' guy again, Matt Corral. I made that mistake too many times. Screw you, pal. You'll also be on the look for last year's rookie QB class, including T-Law, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, David Mills, and pour one out for Trey Lance.
Rip. All right, let's head to what's making the headlines in the hobby. Like we said earlier, Beckett recently announced that they acquired Do Dilly, a site which uses computer technology to provide pricing and assessments to sports cards and collectibles. You see the website on the screen there. According to Do Dilly website, the program uses their advanced technology to assess the quality of edges, corners, centering, and surface. We'll then share a grading comp that shows what your raw card could be graded for if sent to PSA, BGS, or SGC. In an article on Sports Collectors Digest, Beckett's CEO and friend of the show, inaugural guest, Kunal Chopra, said, the Do Dilly acquisition helps Beckett achieve its strategic vision, using technology to create the best products and services for collectors. Computer vision is the future, and we're going to integrate Do Dilly's technology and their team to make sure we can provide the fastest and most efficient grading and authentication in the industry. Troy, to you.
I like to catch yourself. You just went, authentication. You just said it louder.
Yes.
So we've received a lot of questions and concerns surrounding 2022 Topps Chrome Baseball this year. Topps acknowledged that planned bonus short print parallels of 5 rookies were incorrectly not included in the Hobby Box Coalition, but it looks like Topps has already been taking the necessary steps to fix this issue. Here at Dave and Adams, we will be receiving the 2-card silver packs from Topps, and everyone who has purchased 2022 Topps Chrome Baseball from us will be receiving one of those. The short print parallels will be randomly inserted into these packs, and we will update you as we learn more on this subject.
Beautiful. And then to a lighter subject, speaking of Topps Chrome Baseball, Bobby Witt Jr., who we know has visited PSA and everything, visited a local card shop in Kansas City, The Art of Sports, and broke open some Topps Chrome himself. While ripping the packs, Witt pulled some rookies and autos, as you see a Franco on the screen, in addition to a rookie auto of some Royals infielder named, Bobby Witt Jr.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, so he pulled his own card.
Again.
As you saw on the screen, Witt was posting for a photo with the shop peeps and just a few of some of the hits. So pretty cool story for Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt fully invested in cards.
There you go. Moving on, Monday night we had not one but 2 football games. The Buffalo Bills shellacked. Love that use of that word. The Tennessee Titans shellacked them. Woo!
Boom!
Oh, he cut right off. Okay. They shellacked the Titans 41-7. And the Philadelphia Eagles stay hot, versus the Vikings with a 24-7 victory. I'm Troy, so David and I are going to look at a couple players who piqued our interest Monday night, but we want to bring Elena in for this too. So, Elena, sit tight. I know you are busting at the seams. I know.
Itching to talk about my experience at that game.
I know.
Oh, yes.
So I saw somebody here was asking, surprised I'm wearing Vikings. Did I lose a bet? I just love. Elena asked me the same thing. She's like, "Why are you wearing Vikings?" I just love vintage clothes.
I know. Guys, we're 45 episodes in. You should know Troy is the vintage man.
I just love vintage stuff. I gotta restock. I feel like I'm trying to go as long as I can without repeating my T-shirts in there.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I might have worn this on one episode, so I lost.
All right, so
Jerseys, I'm doing all right though.
So I'm going to go to David first, and then obviously Elena will have you jump in as well. Let's go to you. Who were some of the players, hobby-wise, and that stood out to you in the games that you think people should be looking out for? And I know it's probably obvious, but go ahead.
Yeah, so 2 guys I want to talk about: Stephon Diggs, Jalen Hurts. Stephon Diggs went off on Monday night. 12 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 148 yards. Just to note, so the game was on the 19th. He sold 49 cards for $17.34 average. Okay. Next day, I should say, there was 214 Stephon Diggs cards sold at an average of $32.86.
Nice.
Now, obviously, wide receivers, not the hottest commodity unless you're a younger guy like Chase or whatever. But still, Diggs, if you're just looking to kind of collect them, you can get them for decently cheap.
That was Diggs' career high receptions and touchdowns in one game. So that was a great game for Diggs. That was his best game ever.
He killed
100%.
it. And then Jalen Hurts, just honestly, he's had a great start to the season. 26 of 31, 1 touchdown. He had 11 carries, 57 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. Him, kind of like Diggs, 19th, he sold 294 cards, average of $66.83. On the 20th, the day after the game, after a big 3-touchdown performance, 1,246 cards sold for an average of $93.38. So that's pretty much like a $27 increase. I mean, we talked about it Monday with Tua and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You get a big game, averages are just skyrocketing.
Well, and here's the interesting part for me. Tua and Jalen are both in the 2020 class with Burrows and Herbert, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct.
So I think that's interesting here. We go back. Burrow, I mean, listen, it might be an overreaction. It's 2 games into the season. Sliding a little bit. Like, the stats aren't there, and obviously an 0-2 start, kind of shocking for a team who was literally just in the Super Bowl months ago. And Justin Herbert, obviously, having the rib issue. We'll see how he play, if he's going to play through it, if he's going to sit. We don't know. So, I think it's one of those things where Jalen and Tua are nothing to sneeze at and could be emerging hobby cards and players from that 2020 class. Everybody wants to talk about Burrows. Everybody wants to talk about Herbert. But now you're finally seeing in their third season, I guess, technically, if you will, they're starting to make strides. I mean, Jalen, too, I think he's cheap enough right now that I think people should totally invest in him.
I agree.
I think people should totally invest in Jalen right now. And to me, that's the Eagles' division to lose.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
So we'll bring you in, Elena, too. So what say you about this?
Here's my maybe hot take, maybe cold take. I really truthfully believe after watching the Bills in person and then going back, obviously because I wasn't watching the Eagles game because I was at the Bills game, but going back, looking at those two teams, Eagles and Bills, I could really see that being the Super Bowl. No one in the NFC has impressed me as much as Jalen Hurts and that Eagles have. So that's my hot take. I think it's going to be Eagles-Bills Super Bowl, unless the Rams kind of get their heads out of their
You could say asses. I
get
said
their
it
heads
before.
out of their ass and kind of be the Super Bowl team that they are, So there it is. Spicy, but yeah, I'm putting my bet out right there right now. I think it's going to be Eagles-Bills Super Bowl.
It's funny. I saw a tweet, Elena, last night or the day before, and people were saying, I don't think the world is ready for an Eagles-Bills Super Bowl.
Imagine Arizona would be up in flames. If you had Eagles fans and Bills fans at a tailgate together.
Yeah, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go
I know
Birds.
there's a
Bird
couple
gang.
Bird fans in the chat, so.
Yeah, bang, bang, Bird Gang.
What?
Oh, interesting note, too. Don't fret on Justin Jefferson, okay?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, I feel like there could be some people out there having an absolute overreaction to what happened. Obviously, kept quiet by Darius Slay Jr. 2 nights ago. You got to remember who's throwing him the ball. I know people say, like, oh, look at his stats. But Kirk Cousins, just the most inconsistent quarterback I think I've watched in my lifetime.
2-10 on Monday Night Football.
Right. And then what were you going to say,
I said he's
Elena?
the most mids quarterback. I saw his stat last night after Monday Night Football. He's 60, 60, and 2 in total games played.
That's what I mean. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Great. Throw for over 5,000, 4,000 yards a season, and have whatever touchdowns. But what has Kirk Cousins done?
If the Vikings could get a good quarterback, I really think they'd be a threat.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, yeah. You think Justin Jefferson is good now. Imagine if he had...
Allen.
And I was going to... I didn't want to keep using
Allen,
Josh
a
Allen.
Mahomes.
Right.
A Herbert.
Exactly. Imagine if he had somebody thrown to him like that. He'd be even better if that was even possible.
Right.
Is there anybody else that we wanted to touch on before we move on? I just want to make sure.
I just want to recap this atmosphere in Highmark Stadium on Monday night. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I've been to many games in my lifetime here living in Buffalo, and that tops the most energetic game and the best feeling I've ever had in a stadium. Like goosebumps. People had their phones out recording the former Bills head coach that took him to 4 consecutive Super Bowls, Marv Levy.
Marv Levy.
Marv Levy. And
you just showed your age.
I know. And literally when I say he came out and he was like, this is what I'd always say, where else would you rather be? Hearing 60,000 people say that gave me goosebumps. I truthfully, and I'm not even trying to sound corny, will never forget that moment for the rest of my life. That was amazing.
I saw the video that the Bills posted on their Insta, and it gave me chills.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't even believe people were recording that because it was just I was literally living in the moment in that and watching them get washed. The Titans, King Henry, good night.
Yeah, how about him?
Oh, nothing. 25 yards. That's
You were
all he
gonna,
had.
and a touchdown. You knew you weren't gonna keep him out of the end zone.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm glad I only saw him go into the end zone once, and then Stephon Diggs 3 touchdowns, and I was sitting in that corner, kind of on the Bills side, but that's where where Matt Milano had that pick 6, and it was the best. It was the best.
Also, I know both of you guys. Well, you were at the game, and I know you were at home. I don't know if anybody had a chance to watch our Monday night tailgate break. And something that I just remember that I want to say that I picked up One of the guys I had a chance to interview, I asked him what was his lock of the night. Bills defensive touchdown.
Oh,
Matt
yes.
Milano
He did
taking
say
it
that,
back
yeah.
for the pick six.
He did say that.
There you
What
go.
about Meerkat with the first
Oh my
touchdown?
goodness.
Meerkat plus
goodness.
whatever it was.
Plus
Was it
6,500.
6,500. What did he say? He bet $5 on it.
$2
$2
for $132.
Reggie Gilliam,
Reggie
baby.
Gilliam, fullbacks matter. He's in
Hashtag
the-
fullbacks matter. Meerkat
They
in the
do.
chat right now.
I like the way they were kind of using them. I did.
Love it. Yeah, no, they. He definitely. Josh overthrew him a little bit on like another drive
Mm-hmm.
later on,
Oh,
but
yeah, it was a streak. I
yeah,
remember.
but I think Reggie. I do like how they're using him as well. So we'll have to see that going forward.
I hate to chime in. 'Cause I know
But
that-
you're gonna do
but
it.
I'm gonna do it anyway, and Elena's gonna hate my coffee breath. But
I've smelled.
there's a
it
lot of
before.
Bills talk, but I think the big thing in the NFL right now that people are gonna look at now is the Dolphins and the Bills this coming week.
Yeah, no.
Because
100%.
Because you know what you were talking about. Okay, you get a good quarterback in Vikings territory, right? They could potentially be a threat of a team. Tua has been not great, and all of a sudden he's electric. They've rebuilt the O-line.
Yep.
They have some, someone else on the outside, opposed from Waddle, and look at them now. They're dangerous.
Well, yeah, and I think I think you make a good point, Tyler. Absolutely.
They might be
And
on
I-
the heels of the Bills all season.
Wait,
No,
is he
I totally
Tuanon?
agree.
Is Tyler Tuanon?
No.
No.
Oh,
I don't think he's no. He's a Josh Allen guy. He's not
No.
full on.
Yeah, I know. I get
He's
what you're
not
saying.
full on to and on.
There's the dolphin noise.
God.
Perfect.
He's not full on to and on. But what I will say is, I agree, and I made this point I think last episode, is that he's got the weapons now. So if Tyreek is being double covered, he's got Waddle.
Yeah,
open.
Waddle.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he's definitely in a good situation, and that's the thing. Bills cannot sleep on the Dolphins
Absolutely
because.
not.
Well,
Go ahead. No.
this is exactly what I said earlier in the preseason and everything. Josh Allen's third year in the league. They went out and got Stephon Diggs. He had a career year.
Yep.
Tua's third year, they
go
went
out and
out
get
and got
Tyreek?
Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
and right now he's off to a career year.
Well, that's the thing. Whether you're talking hobby or just straight up football, that's my opinion. Don't judge anybody until their third year. The third year is really, I think, where
Make or
okay,
break, yeah.
you've worked out the kinks. Hopefully your organization is building a team around you. If they really believe in you and you are going to be the franchise quarterback and centerpiece, they're going to build around you and they're going to find you the weapons. And just as we did with the Bills, I think you're seeing that with the Dolphins and Tua. Yes, thank you. Very liberal with the dolphin noise. All right, he's throwing out his shoulder. Here we go. Next up, we got our guest for the day. This man is a man of many roles. He started the Sports Card Live show. Now he's with Tag as well, and he has one of the bigger hockey collections, vintage, you'll find. It's Mr. Jeremy Lee. So without further ado, let's roll it to Jeremy. All right, we are back. Another interview, of course. And we've got a special guest this time. I know we say that every time, but we mean it every time. It is Mr. Jeremy Lee of Sports Card Live. Not only that, but also Tag. Good morning, Jeremy. How you doing?
I am good, gentlemen. It's an honor to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
I think I would say that it's an honor for us to have you on the show.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Well, that's flattering, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice, you got Sports Card Live, obviously, us on the Chase. So to be able to cross promote there with some media is always fun.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm a big fan of Dave and Adams, and the Chase is great. So this is a special for me.
Well, we appreciate
that, yeah.
So we'd like to get started, and I think the appropriate way to get started is if you could tell us about Sports Card Live. I want to know, where did it begin? How did you start it? And were you actually in the media business prior to starting that?
No, I wasn't at all. I'm my background is finance and accounting. I've been a CPA for 25 years, and that's my career. I started Sports Cards Live one random day, basically in April of 2020, when the reason I started was because one day I wanted to sell some cards and they were some vintage hockey graded cards, and I wanted to sell them. And I didn't want to go through the whole scanning and listing process. So I reached out to a vintage Facebook group and I said, hey, do you guys mind if I live stream to your group and sell cards that way? Just show them one at a time. And they said, yeah, that's no problem, but make sure you don't show any card after 1989. I thought, fine, no problem. So I did that. Like a couple days later, streamed live. It was my very first time, was about an hour and a half, and I sold a bunch of cards, and I got a lot of great feedback from people saying, that was a lot of fun, you should do that again. I thought, well, that's great. Now I've got some modern hockey cards that I want to sell, but there's like 1,000 modern hockey Facebook groups, so I didn't know where to go. I thought, well, maybe I should start a new group called for live stream selling only. And now we have companies in the space that do this. But I thought maybe I'll start a new group. So I thought I should call it Sports Cards Live. So I got the Facebook group name, and then I thought, oh, maybe I should check out the YouTube channel if that name's available there. And it was, so I snagged it. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to go live for the first time here. It was April 2020, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't going to go live and just sell cards. So I called up a friend of mine, Carvin Chung, known as the architect, and he was the kind of the inventor of Exquisite and Upper Deck the Cup and all these things. And I said, hey, Carvin, I'm going to go live on Saturday. Do you want to come on and we'll talk? I'll interview you. And I'd never done an interview before. He said, sure, that sounds great. So we did it. And that was the first episode. And from there, I thought, well, I guess that was good. I got to find someone to talk to for my next episode. And it just kind of went from there. That's how the whole thing started.
See, I know that feel. You know what? I had a little... It really hit home when you said about talking about, all right, well, I got to find the next guest for the next episode. So that's something that we're always chasing here too.
Yeah, that's like us every single day almost.
Yeah.
Well,
Chasing it on the chase.
hey,
That's right. That's what we like to do.
exactly.
We called it that for a reason.
So we know you're a big collector, as I could tell, big into hockey. What are some differences you've noticed working in the card industry in your capacity and just being a collector?
Well, I mean, if we're talking working like formally, I only started this month with an actual position with a company in the space. But it's, I love doing my shows on my YouTube channel. And, even though I love it, it does feel like work sometimes. Again, you're wrangling guests, you're preparing, you're streaming, you're doing YouTube thumbnails, all these different things. So there is work involved. So from that perspective of work versus being a collector, honestly, doing my show, producing my content has only enhanced my hobby experience. I call it the hobby within the hobby because I get so much gratification interviewing people, getting to know people. And also, I always say that, part my goal, what I'm doing is I'm introducing people to my audience, so to the hobby, to the extent that my audience represents the hobby, I'm introducing people to it. So it's really, for me, a lot of fun to get to know these people. And, my shows are long. They're, it's 90 minutes usually, sometimes longer. And I spend that 90 minutes with them. Then I spend a good hour oftentimes preparing with them before. So I get to know a lot of people in the hobby. It's really broadened my network and really led to me being able to take a position with tag grading, which I did earlier this month. So I love collecting. I still collect. I'm not stopping. I never stopped. And again, doing the content just enhances my overall hobby experience.
Now, I have a little side question. You tipped off a little bit earlier. I heard you say process. So that tipped me off that. Now, did you grow up in Canada? And I'm just curious, big hockey fan, all that. What was that collecting like growing up? Were there hobby stores all around? Was it easily accessible? Kind of how did you like get into it?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I got into it like as a kid, like most people do. I think in Canada, it's hockey cards. We in the US, it's baseball cards, and then you've got the other sports as well. But those are kind of the terms we use to describe the hobby, just generally speaking. So yeah, I mean, I used to save up my allowance in the 1980s, take my $2 a week, head to the corner drugstore, the pharmacy that had a candy section and cards, and I'd buy packs of O-Pee-Chee hockey, but I was also buying packs of baseball cards back then. I was buying the the 80-81 Topps basketball packs at the corner store when I was a kid as well, the triple panels. I was perforating them and just having fun with those cards back then. So just like anybody. And then when the hobby started to blow up at the end of the 80s and for sure in the early 90s, there were card shops everywhere. I grew up in Winnipeg, which is north of North Dakota. And we had shops everywhere back in the day. And just like you did in the US. So not too much different. But of course, our focus was on hockey versus baseball.
You know, and I'm curious too. I'm a big hockey guy. You know what? Buffalo is, you know, quite the hockey hub, I guess, here in America. It's one of the, you know, bigger hockey cities. What do you think it is that, you know, hockey cards, it just doesn't seem like they get the same love and attention as, you know, as a football or, you know, as a baseball?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, you know, I think there's some theories out there. One is that, oh, maybe the NHL doesn't market as well. They don't market their stars as well as the other sports do, especially basketball right now. It might be that hockey is a sport that is very expensive to play. So not as many kids can play it, so they don't follow it as closely. It's a winter sport, so it really only applies to the northern U.S., historically speaking, until the NHL expanded down into the southern states like Arizona and Texas and Florida. And, you know, when Wayne Gretzky was traded from the Edmonton Oilers to the Los Angeles Kings in 1989 or 88, that opened up, that really led to a lot of U.S. expansion. So, but maybe that's not recent. Maybe that's not long ago enough for the sport to really permeate throughout the U.S. Another theory I've heard is that the players all wear helmets, which isn't different from football, but the players all wear helmets. So you can't see their faces as well, which makes them less marketable when they're in action, right? I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I've heard that theory before. So, and I think that maybe the final one is that the game might be hard to understand if you didn't grow up playing it or if you don't know it, and understanding what offside is and the various rules. So perhaps there's something there. And another idea, the puck. You know, in basketball, the ball's big, right? It's this big. In hockey, you know, it's like this big. And so it's harder to see when you're watching it on TV. Maybe people don't know where the puck is and they may get frustrated watching the sport. So those are some of the things. But I'll tell you, it's, as you guys know, being in Buffalo, it's probably the most fun sport to watch. It's so exciting. I mean, you've got speed unlike any other sport. You've got the skill set that these guys need to have to stick handle the puck at high speed is unbelievable. And you see some beautiful plays, just like you see in basketball with, you know, 3 passes to a basket. You can have 3 plus passes for the puck to eventually end up in the net. And the hand-eye coordination of these guys is fantastic. So here's me trying to promote hockey, but I think it deserves it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree. I think the thing that you said that like piqued me the most is the helmet thing. That seems so ridiculous because I'm like, you wear a helmet in hockey, but you can still see the guy's face.
Wear a helmet in baseball.
It's curious. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting take. But more Sports Card Live, I got to ask, when you interview some of these industry insiders, what are some of your takeaways from their answers?
Yeah, you know, the biggest general takeaway I have is that when we are surfing Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and watching YouTube content from all these creators, there's so much that we as creators don't know in terms of what goes on behind closed doors, what goes on in terms of the processes. Some things like why stickers exist, sticker autographs exist, why redemptions exist, why we're seeing so many delays during the pandemic era in terms of releases. We just, you know, design constraints that they may have, all sorts of things that the hobby and a lot of content creators complain about or criticize that have like actual plausible reasons behind them as to why they happen. So my biggest takeaway is that I think we need these industry insiders to be out there more. I mean, I've had tons of them on my show, and they've been on other shows as well, but I think they need to get out there and educate the hobby as to why certain processes are what they are, because there's just so much lack. I don't want to use the term ignorance. I say it out loud, but it almost has negative connotation. But there's such a lack of information out there, and people who are creating content and are, influencing others just don't know what they're talking about in a lot of cases. And we need these insiders to get out there and educate and inform. Not that that'll stop people from complaining and criticizing, but it might make some strides in that direction.
I totally agree, to be honest with you. Not to get my 2 cents in, but I would agree that it's almost, to me, becoming like a lot of sports talk, television or radio, where people are just throwing out hot takes or throwing out numbers and that without necessarily maybe a ton of research. And it just seems like it's kind of, let's push it out there, and you take our advice, you take our advice, you don't.
Yeah, and another takeaway I've had is that, for the most part, the people that work in the hobby love the hobby, and they do, they're in a tough situation because they do have to balance profit motive with what's best for the hobby. I hate the term when a new set or brand comes out and people call it a cash grab. I mean, listen, guys, we live in a capitalistic society here in North America. Everything is a cash grab. If you want to call it that. I mean, a new restaurant opens up, they're looking to make money. Is that a cash grab? So, it's like, I think that it is tough because, again, they're balancing, the finance department's pressures to fully, use all the different memorabilia, use what we're now calling napkins, patches, the plain white jerseys. People want multicolored swatches on every card that they pull. It's not every mem card they pull. It's just not feasible. So they're in a tough situation. But I think that it's, it just kind of goes hand in hand with the other thing I was saying, is that more education, more informing would help people understand why things are the way they are, and not I don't know that are any sets truly cash grabs, or is it just kind of part of the overall program? They're trying to fill a need within their overall product portfolio.
So to kind of piggyback off that, what you were saying is, in the modern hobby, what kind of piques your interest the most? What is it that you really want to usually know, out of your guests or just through your research about cards and collecting?
I mean, I just want to know them. I want to know the people that I'm having on the show. I want the hobby to know them. I'm a firm believer that people people want to do business with people that they like, people that like them. And so if there's a person in the hobby who works in the hobby, that comes on my show or any other show, and they might be a polarizing figure. Well, some people are going to like that. Some people aren't. That's fine. But a lot of these people that work in the companies, they're not out there in public talking to hobbyists a lot, or at least being broadcast. They might be at shows and that kind of thing. But I think it's just a lot of fun to get to know them. And so what do I want to know? I want to know what goes on behind the scenes. I want to know what they know that they can share with my audience and myself, that will inform us as to what's going on. What are the reasons behind the things that people are complaining about? What are the reasons behind the things that people aren't complaining about? And so that's kind of what I'm interested in as far as my content goes. If you were asking me what interests me as far as cards go, that's a whole different answer and a whole different sort of discussion, I guess.
Well, honestly, I was getting ready to ask, before we get into your role at TAG, I got to ask you, so hockey season right around the corner. Is there any players you're kind of keeping your eye on for this season?
Well, I'm not the best guy to ask on this. I am not a hobbyist who prospects or like collects the rookies each year. I usually wait to buy rookie cards, make sure that these guys pan out. If you were buying Alexis Lafreniere Young Guns before he even hit the ice a couple years ago, you were paying $400. Then he hits the ice. Now I don't know what they're selling for now, but I'm guessing they're in that $70, $80 range. So I've kind of learned that lesson. So my answer is I watch it all. Sidney Crosby, obviously one of the greatest of all time. I want to see how he's going to be out of the gate this year, because if he doesn't have a great start, Well, there's, he's still an all-time great, so you might be able to get better prices on it. Alex Ovechkin, if he comes out and scores 10 goals in the first 8 games, be careful, guys. Those prices are going to skyrocket from where they are already, because it'll be indicative of him being able to catch Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record. I think he's only like 110 or 20 goals away from that. So, watch out for that. I'm interested in seeing how what's Austin Matthews going to do, like all the main guys, Connor McDavid, of course. But that's kind of where I focus. I don't prospect too much on these guys, on hockey players or any sport for that matter.
I think that's the safe way to do things.
Yeah.
A lot of, like football, for example, a lot of people are prospecting like the rookie quarterbacks from last year, your Mac Jones, your Trevor Lawrences, and
Heavily.
It's a gamble. It's 100% a gamble.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So moving on, you got your new role with Tag. Just kind of tell us what is your role with Tag, and how did that opportunity come about?
So, I mean, my title is Vice President of Business Development. It's it's kind of a title that I think does describe what I'm going to be best doing with them. Even though since it's been announced and I've started, I find myself doing more. I get a lot of people who know me sending me questions. They've sent in early bird submissions, and I get a lot of questions from people, which I'm happy to answer. But as far as how it came about, so I'll tell you the story. It was the National 2021. I was there sort of just set up as a content creator. I had a high table with 2 chairs and a couple of roll-up banners. And I was located in the corporate area with one of my friends' businesses. And so I had people coming up to me and saying hello. It was awesome. It was my first time being out. Well, a lot of people's first time being out after pandemic, when things started to open up again. Anyway, this group came up to me. There were three of them, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to show you something." I said, "Oh, sounds great, and thank you for wanting to show me something." Like, I was just flattered by it. Anyway, they showed me a presentation on their iPad, which was Tag. It was the founder, Steve Cass, and two of his co-founders. And I saw this presentation, and I was blown away by this, 90-second video on their iPad. And I was there kind of, looking to meet people, grow my network, wrangle guests for my show, all that. So that's a great opportunity. Anyway, fast forward a little bit. I kept in touch with them, maybe once every 2 months, just the odd email, see how their development was going, how their progress was coming along. And it was February that they reached out and said, "Hey, we're getting closer to launching, and we'd like to consider doing a bit of an information launch on a podcast, and we think you might be the right platform for that for us." I said, "Well, that'd be great, but I need to get to know you guys better. I need to know what I'm aligning my brand with." So I flew down there at the beginning of March of this year, spent 2 or 3 days there. I don't remember exactly. I got to go to Burbank Sports Cards and the Bullpen, saw a couple of the shops while I was there. But anyway, I went to the facility. I went to the Tag office, and I was absolutely blown away by what I saw, just how far along they were. We've heard about a lot of grading companies that have popped up in the last couple of years, kind of, calling them like basement pop-ups, and not to cast shade on any of them, because I don't really know what kind of facility they're in, but I hear people saying that, and I was and that's kind of what I was expecting to a degree, but complete opposite. This was just an amazing facility with like a ton of equipment and organization and a nice space. And I saw the technology, and I was like, wow, you guys really have this dialed in. And they showed me a presentation, and I met their tech guy. He was zoomed in to meet. And so I realized that, and I was skeptical leading up to this, but I realized that like AI grading, automated grading was finally here. And so I'm blown away, and I agreed. Yeah, let's do these episodes. I'm happy to do it. So we spent so this was early March. I think we did the first episode in like June or so, beginning of June. And in that interim, we kept on, it kind of got pushed back a few times because of things that they were dealing with and just, advancing with. Finally, we started. But in that interim 3 or 4 month period, I got to know them a little bit better. And then when we started doing the episodes and planning them and preparing for them, I got to know this team pretty well and developed a really strong rapport. And I just got more and more, I believed more and more in what they were doing. And, I'm a 40-year hobbyist who's been collecting graded cards for, 25, 30 years now. And I thought this is what this is something that the hobby needs. I'm not saying everyone's gonna switch to AI or automated grading, but I think it's definitely a reasonable option for a lot of people. And so doing these episodes, getting to know them, it just so happened that my current role was ending. It ended July 15th. So I was unemployed. And that was after the series ended, which was July 15th. My job ended. Our last episode was, I think, July 9th. And so we started talking more about, maybe there's some way for me to get involved in a bigger way. And so between, I guess, the first week of July and the middle of August, we had these discussions, and it became formal. Announced it the Thursday of the Burbank show, which was August the 26th or 7th, something like that. And the night before we announced it, I flew to LA and sat with the founder in his office from about 7:30 p.m. till 2:30 a.m., kind of hammering out our deal. And we announced it the next day. So I'm leaving my career as a CPA, as a finance accounting professional, and moving into automated grading full time. I've invested money into the equity of the company. I've actually put skin in the game here. So as I've said before, I'm all in on tag grading. I completely believe in it. And I think that, I don't know if I want to use the word disruptor, because I don't think that human grading will ever go away, because we've got some great, incumbents in the space. But we at Tag, I can say we do provide an alternative to a lot of people who we don't need any business from PSA, Beckett, SGC, CSG. I think that there's enough people out there who just don't like human grading that have been waiting for this. And I think that would be enough for us, but I don't deny the fact that we'll probably get some business elsewhere as well. Sorry for the long-winded answer.
That's okay. David and I can talk too. We don't mind that. We like the long answers.
Yeah, details are key.
It makes it for a good conversation,
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, there you go. You're having a glimpse into the future right there. Some automated grading, which I'm interested to see. Would love to see that further for sure. So definitely something we can hopefully bring you back on in the future.
And if you guys are ever in LA, let me know, and I'll try and be there at the same. I'm working remotely, but I've committed about a third of my time to LA now. You're ever there, I'd love to give you a tour and introduce you to the team and just show you what it was that blew me away when I was there myself. So
yes, see, I was thinking that I had the content wheels turning, and I think a tour would obviously be amazing. I think that'd be a good one. So, listen to you talk about Sports Card Live, Tag. How do you make time for all this? I mean, just how do you manage doing all this stuff?
Well, I have a wonderful wife, I think, is number one. I have two young kids, 5 and 3. My wife is extremely capable. I have to say, she has a full-time job, but we both work from home now. So, Sports Cards Live is an after the kids go to bed thing for me. It always has been. My kids are in bed by 7:30, and that's when I have my planning meetings. That's when I do my live streaming. That's when I do my thumbnails, all this stuff. So there's that. As far as, working for Tag now, well, I don't have another job. So that's, my 9 to 5, if you will. Even with you guys here is it's sort of a blend of both, right? We're talking about both, and these are business hours we're in right now. So because I don't have a full-time job anymore, it's opened up time to allocate to Tag, to allocate more time to Sports Cards Live, build out more content on that channel. And I often get the question, now that you're with Tag, what's going to happen to Sports Cards Live? And my answer is, I want it to remain status quo. Obviously, I'm going to talk about Tag a bit more, but I don't intend for my content to become Tag infomercials. I intend to stay as true to my brand as I have been for the last 2.5 years, and continue to do what I've always been doing.
Nice. Is it kind of surreal for you, honestly? You've been a collector for 40 years, but is it kind of surreal that like your career has now come full circle to working in the hobby?
Honestly, I'm living guys. I am living the dream right now. I am absolutely living the dream. I've loved it. I remember being in like 1988, buying Beckett magazines and buying and then hearing about Upper Deck hockey, baseball. Upper Deck baseball came out in 1989. I loved it back then. I thought this is what cards need to be. I remember thinking to myself, who's doing this? Who's working? Who are all these names? When you open up Beckett and you look at the editor, like how do these people get these jobs? Who's working at Upper Deck? It seemed like it was so far away, like you had no access to these people. And now I have access to like everybody not everybody in the hobby. I have access to so many people in the hobby now that it's like it's my 18-year-old dream come true, even though now it's just kind of par for the course. But yeah, guys, like absolutely living the dream. The hobby is the biggest constant in my life besides probably my parents, you know what I mean? Like throughout. And so yeah, living the dream 100%, both content and being able to work for a company who I completely believe in and stand behind and think is going to be able to have an effect on the hobby long term and a positive one. So yeah, I'm living the dream, fellas.
Well said. Well said. That's what we're all out here trying to do. We're just trying to live the dream. That's it.
And I don't think that people say that, you can run into people walking around, people like, how you doing? Living the dream. Like people use that term very flippantly. I mean it. Like I actually feel it for real. So I'm very lucky.
Absolutely. I think we are too. I would say we are truly living the dream as well.
Living the dream here.
Amen. Amen to that.
Awesome.
So a couple things to wrap it up. What we like to do, this is how we end everything. We always like to give people the platform, the floor, give them the opportunity to just tell us, where we can find everything. And then the second part I wanted to sneak in there is you talk about the 80s, early 90s. Do you think that junk wax ever has any shot of being anything?
I mean, there are some hidden treasures in those junk wax boxes. That's for sure. But I think at the end of the day, rarity, scarcity is so important as far as the values of cards. And let's face it, the value of cards drives a lot of people to desire cards nowadays. So, when I look at the Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie, it's an iconic card. There's no doubt about it. There's so many of them that you're never really in a rush to get one. You don't have to be in a rush to get one. You can find hundreds of them available any day. So, will there ever be anything? Let's see what happens with Fanatics entering the space. If they can grow the number of hobby participants by 10 or 20 from where it is right now, then sure, because we'll need more product to satisfy the demand. But I don't know. I hope so, because there are some. You think about all the great Hall of Famers. I mean, I can speak really well to hockey. From those first 2 years of Upper Deck hockey, 90-91 and 91-92, there are probably 25 very worthy Hall of Famers worthy of collecting by people, and they're kind of stuck in that right in the heart of the junk wax era where their cards just aren't worth anything. So I don't know, but I hope so. And as far as where I can be found, or where my YouTube channel is called Sports Cards Live, and that I please subscribe, tune in. I do live and interactive interviews almost every Saturday. I do a show called Collectible Live on Sundays for the Collectible, the fractional ownership company, and then I cover the PWCC Premier Auction once a month as well, live, which is now on a Thursday once a month. And I'm on Instagram, JLee_Sports Cards Live.
So there you have it.
There you go.
You guys know where to find him. You know how to get to his content. Make sure you're doing that. Once again, the man from Sports Cards Live and Tag, Jeremy Lee. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us on The Chase. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
Hey, another thanks to Jeremy right there. And interesting note, now that interview has aired, if you recall, in the Ask Me Anything last Friday with Brian Gray, he mentioned tag as being a quote-unquote disruptor in the industry. So interesting to hear Jeremy talk about what they've got going on. We would love to go out to the facility. David and I maybe take a little spin around there. Hopefully one of these days we'll try to get that. But hope to have Jeremy back on. Obviously very knowledgeable of what is going on right now. And Sports Cards Live, definitely check that out. Another great show.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've moved on to the giveaway portion of the episode. If you remember, I told you earlier, going to be a little bit different today. While we usually do a box rip giveaway and there's a funny gimmick on giving me the cutter, today, no frills. I got a little break to tell you about first, and then we will get into the giveaways. So, Dave and Adams, Dappz, and Layton all joining forces because Topps Fanatics selected us to participate in a 4-case sneak peek break of Topps Chrome Black Star Wars. There you go. So each of us will be breaking 16 boxes at an undisclosed location that I can't tell you about. But you know how you will find out about it? If you're watching the Twitch stream, that's right, twitch.tv/DACardWorld. Watch this 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time sharp this Friday on the Twitch. But for now, we are going to give away 5 spots into that break. We're going to do it through Nightbot. So folks who maybe haven't been with oh my.
Slow down.
All right. There you go. For folks who maybe haven't been with us before, you got to remember, you got to have been chatting for the last 5 minutes. So everybody just start typing crap in there. Type. Uh-oh. We're waking up Nightbot. We're waking up Nightbot. So remember, this is going to be for the Friday 11 a.m. break of the unreleased, not released yet, Topps Chrome Black Star Wars, okay?
There are 42 people in this live right now. There are only 22 eligible users, so get chatting.
There you go.
Chat.
Tyler just made a good note for you guys. Get chatting. Let's go. 5 minutes. What do I say? Dad play. I love that. Dad's play. Let's go. You know what? Let me take a second, though, because everybody's chatting. Hopefully, everybody's having a great Wednesday midweek. Hopefully, you're all doing well. Hump day.
I'm not going to lie. I am so
Chelsea Dagger, David, Troy is your father.
Ah.
Dad? Dad?
Dad? Dad?
All right, 26 eligible users. We're going to give you
Someone said Elena for
Hello?
the win.
we're going to give you 1 more minute.
Hello, Dad? Yeah, can you pick me up? There's alcohol here. I don't feel safe anymore. Troy's look over
right.
at Dave. I just looked at it. What do you?
All right.
Oh, the numbers are going up.
eligible
Come on.
Users.
I see
gonna roll
you.
it.
You've been watching.
We're rolling the first one.
Okay, guys, rolling the first one. Here we go.
Here we go.
Come on.
Are we ready?
Who's our first one?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Troy is so funny. Ha, ha, ha. I hate you guys.
And first winner is
Let's see it.
Bridris 23.
Smart guy writing that down. Congratulations there. Remember, you are eligible. You guys are winning spots in the 11 a.m. Topps Chrome Black Star Wars break. Remember that, okay? 11
All right.
a.m. Twitch, Friday. Who's our next winner? We've got
Bridris
4
23.
more.
Please make sure that you a little too soon for the drum roll, but make sure you whisper us on Twitch with your email so we can be sure to send you
Yes.
your cards.
And when
they
we
get pulled.
whisper, we will, we're just doing a whisper.
Yeah, just have
Yeah,
them
whisper.
whisper us and
Hey,
send your email.
can you please whisper to us?
Okay.
On Twitch.
Drum roll, please.
Whisper the next winner.
The fourth winner is Jason Baggs.
Adam, but now I'm excited. What we are being drawn for is we have 3 spots left that we are giving away to the break that we are doing on Friday with Dappz and Layton in an undisclosed location for the unreleased, not yet released, Topps Chrome Black Star Wars, okay? We're doing 4 cases of it, sneak peek break. We're giving away, it was 5 spots. We gave away 2. So we're about to give away the 3rd one here. Please
Jason
and
Bag
thank
says
you.
lit, much appreciated. We love
Pretty
you.
lit.
It's pretty lit. Make sure you
It's pretty
whisper us
lit.
with your email address so we can make sure we have that on
Yes.
file. All right,
Whisper to us.
3rd winner,
Careless whispers. Yeah, we're going to do it on Tatooine.
Mr. Amishman, Mr. Amishman, 88.
Amish man. What? I'm glad I'm not the only one.
His Twitch icon is definitely an Amish older gentleman with the V for Vendetta mask.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Congrats. There you go. That is the 3rd one.
All right, ready for the 4th?
Been spending most our
We gonna
lives
jump right
living
into it.
in
We
an
gonna jump right-
Amish paradise. I swear. Put that away.
All right,
That sounds weird. That sounds weird. All right, let's do the full one, eh?
Name in here first.
Oh, bruv, we do the full fun. I know it.
Dad's play too.
Dad's play. I know it is.
It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old.
I know it's Gangster's Paradise, but have you ever heard of Amish Paradise? You guys know that song. Come on.
All right,
Congrats, dads.
give the chat one last chatter.
Come on, guys. Chat it up.
If you want
Let's
to be
go, let's
entered
go,
into
let's go.
this, we got 41 people watching.
All
There's still
41 of you.
only 25 eligible users.
What?
Make sure you are chatting in there, please.
Chat
we
it
want to give you
up.
this spot.
Who doesn't want something?
You guys know, you guys want free stuff? I am very excited.
Free 99.
Free?
Okay, I got a little too excited.
Free. Yeah. You know what? I love Elena. There you go. Hit him with the want
All
want.
right. 5th person. 5th person. Drum roll, please.
Come on.
Hey, Tone 5490.
Town. Swagger
Let's go.
Town.
Love it.
Let's go.
Congratulations, everybody.
Tony.
The live audience is really into it today.
They're ripping today.
They're ripping. They just
All right.
keep cheering.
So there you go, guys. Remember to whisper.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Remember to whisper to us. And remember, 11 a.m. right here, twitch.tv/DA Card World. Make sure you're here. And that's where we'll be breaking with Dappz and Layton the sneak peek 4 cases. Each breaker will get 16 boxes of Topps Chrome Black Star Wars. That is not on shelves yet, okay? Remember that.
I think I'm so funny, guys.
Well, that makes one of us.
Oh.
Oh, hit him with the crickets. Okay, last thing before we sign off, I
My
just want to make a
ears.
mention. I think it's fair that we got to talk about it real quick. We'll slide it in.
What?
Wow.
Well, ma'am, I wish you weren't so
What?
angry when you asked me
You
that.
go real quick.
What the hell do you want?
No. Listen, on Card News Now yesterday, I talked about Aaron Judge having 59 home runs, and obviously he's on pace to make history.
Correct.
And also probably on pace to make some history in terms of how much his balls are worth. Home run balls, that is. Yes, so last night he tied Ruth with 60 home runs. Huh? How about it? The story behind it is pretty crazy, though, too.
Yeah. So the dudes gave the ball back. to
Yeah,
Judge.
so come to find out, it's a 20-year-old baseball player. So he's a college baseball player, came away with Judge's 60th home run, but decided to give it back to the slugger in exchange for a few words, handshake, a bat, and some autos.
Yes.
But
It's
here, when I heard this story, all I'm thinking is somewhere all these auction house people are having an absolute aneurysm.
yeah, pretty much. I saw an article that said that ball is probably around 500 grand.
Yeah.
And then-
For a ball.
You know, as soon as they spotted this kid out, these auction houses would have been like, just vultures to this kid. And they would be like, what do you want? Put it up on my website. Put it up on my website. Buyer's premium. You know what I mean? So now I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with number 60.
Yeah, so I read an article. It was a guy projecting the prices. So that one was 500 grand. The next one, about 2 million around there. The record breaking one, 61, 5 to 10 million.
Yep. I think he's bound to. Let's be honest, guys. He's bound to break this.
Or 62. I said
the hell
61.
noise was that?
It's a crow.
Sounds like someone's
God,
dying.
This is awful. He's bound to break that record. Yeah, next one up will be tying Maris. 62 will be breaking Maris's record. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these auction houses are saying, collectively, these balls could be worth millions.
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
$1 million balls.
Quote the Raven, nevermore. Anybody have any just real quick thing they want to add on that? What is wrong with you over there?
I had a shot of espresso in my venti drink, so I'm kind
you
of
are
starting to shake.
flying.
I'm like,
Elena's got the shakes.
I'm shaking. I'm excited.
I mean, what do you say about this? Are you a baseball guy?
Guy, no. Girl, no. I don't. Baseball is just like, I'm like,
Oh my God! All right. Well,
I know. I'm sorry.
How about this though? This is history making, and it could be worth a lot of money. That's got to be
Absolutely.
exciting, right?
No, that's super exciting for whoever has those balls. Again,
Okay.
I'm hilarious.
On a serious note, what baseball is going to be worth more? Because Chasing Bags put this in there. What ball is going to be worth more? The 62, the 62nd home run ball for Judge, or Pujols 700? Silence.
That's tough though.
Whisper. Oh,
I think it could be Pujols.
yeah.
I'm gonna say Pujols. That is career milestone historic, and that's either it's gonna go into somebody's hands or it's gonna go into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I think that's gonna be worth more.
before we close, can I just say something to the viewers?
What's up?
Happy September 21st.
Do you remember?
Do you remember the 21st night of September?
All right, let's close it out, folks. That's another episode of The Chase in the books. Hey! Oh.
Dance, Troy, dance. The people want to see you dance.
Slap of the bass.
Stand up and dance for the people. Not jiggy. There you go.
my God.
Oh,
Do you want me to read the outro? Oh my
dance, dance. There it go now. Hit it.
All right, we're unhinged.
All right. Okay, let's wrap this.
Oh, time to go.
All right, let's wrap this. They want to see me go through a table. Maybe next tailgate. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Now I'm all off. Yeah, thanks. So thank you for tuning into The Chase for another episode. What are you doing? All right, we'll be back. We'll be back on Friday. I may not be here, but somebody else might be in the chair. Wink, wink. Check that out. Make sure you're watching our replay on YouTube. Follow us across all of our social channels at DA_The Chase, but also follow DA Card World at DA Card World across all of those platforms. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple. Stay tuned. I think Steve is in the house for a special Wednesday presentation. How about that? On the Twitch. He'll be up next. And there's only one thing left to do and only one thing to remember, ladies and gentlemen. And that is, it's all about the chase. He went early on me. Bang! Top guys out.
Sees ya.
Sees you Friday.